So I do outline, but I've sort of begun instead of, and let me backtrack. The first book I ever sold, The Blue Zone, after I worked with Patterson, I wrote out a 80-page outline. It was about 60, 70 chapters, and I ended up getting a 3-book contract with HarperCollins off of an outline, which anyone in the industry will tell you in fiction never, 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 never happens. Um, I've sort of lately begun to take shortcuts, and some of it is now I've written 14, 15 of these between my work with Jim and my own. I know I can do it. I know I can bring them to the finish. And I've sort of begun to outline the first 10, 20 chapters and let that be my guide. And then, once I get into the book, I let it take me where it's going to take me. I actually heard Khalid Hosseini, I think that's how it's pronounced, on Morning Joe this morning. He's the author of The Kite Runner and the new book, And the Mountains Echoed. And he said that he doesn't outline anything, that he just literally arrives at the book every day, not exactly knowing where he's going to end up that day, which I really think is quite amazing. But I guess it takes all types to do that. I like writing in a women's voice because I like putting sort of innocent, regular people in peril in my books. And I also strive for, sorry, dog left, strive for an emotional resonance at the end of the book. All of my books involve family and families that are torn apart and families that are put in jeopardy. And I'm also sort of caught up in the idea of an everyday hero, just someone like you or me, someone you see every day, a yoga mom, or a guy who runs up the sidelines cheering on his kid at school, who is then forced to really stand up against characters that are much more powerful than they are, and do they have the courage to do it, and the sort of moxie, the canniness to do it. So I like that. In terms of women, maybe it comes from spending 15 years in the women's clothing business before I started writing, but I seem to be able to do it. I've always been around strong-willed women. I got a couple in the other room here. Um, Even my dogs are strong-willed women. So I guess for whatever reason, I found it natural. And because of the emotional aspects of my books, sometimes it's easier to do that through a woman's perspective than through a guy's. So